Hello, this is Miss King. I know it's been a long time. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I've heard great things from Mr. Lee. We're going to go over the OCCT review. I have missed you guys. Hope you guys are all doing great. I know you've been reviewing. OCCT review is next week. And please take this seriously. If there's anything you feel you don't necessarily know, just take your best guess. I know you're going to do great on this. So we're just going through pages 1 through 7. You should have already finished this, or you should have gotten really close. Remember, it's also online on my website, and there is also, which is on the board. All right, number 1. You have the table, and it says, what statement best describes the relationship between X and Y in this table? Now, there's nothing wrong if you forget how to do this, why don't you just look and see the relationship between them? And I'm just going to list a couple. We've got X, we've got Y. There's 1, 2, 3. I'm not listing all of them. 2, 4, 6. Well, it's kind of easy if you can kind of just tell. But remember, if you forget, it's the Y difference over the X difference, which means you're going to find, how did you get from here to here? You had to add 2. Add 2. How'd you get from here to here? Add 1. Add 1. So y equals 2 over 1. And let's just see if that's all we had to do. Y is just twice as much as x. So let's see. Is 2 equal to 2 times 1? Yeah, it is. Is 4 equal to 2 times 2? Yep. Those are both great. So that would be A. Number 2. Now again, don't just go off of A, B, C, but you should have gotten A. Y is twice what X is. And sometimes it's great if you can just see that, but please show work on these so you have something to look at. Number 2, what is the equation of this graph? This is kind of where you're going to have to kind of just look at some points and see how high up you went up to the right and to the left. There's also nothing wrong with plugging in the points. Remember how we did the positive? Remember how a positive was like this? And when we learned negative, it went like this. Remember how you raised your right arm for positive, and then it went like this for negative? That's not very good. No change, undefined. So first of all, you can look at that until it's going to be a positive. Well, that rules out B and D. So now look at A and C. So let's just kind of plug in. Let's see. I can tell that it goes through 1, 3. This is the X and this is the Y. And remember, you go left to right and then up and down. So I can tell that, let's plug in this first one. So is Y 3 times X, or is Y 1/3 times X? Well, let's see. Y is 3, and this is 1. So is 3 equal to 3 times 1? Yes, so it's Y is 3X. I know these linear are a little bit more difficult, but again, if you have problems with them, just guess. There's nothing wrong with it, or eliminate. Remember what we talked about, positive, negative change, and all those things. Number 3. What graph shows a negative rate of change? Well, I just talked about this. All the other ones are going right, and the one that's going down on the right is C. Negative goes this way, goes down. Remember how I talked about you wouldn't want your stock going down. Number 4. What equation represents the data? Again, if you forget how to do this, sorry about that. Feel free to plug in and just see which one works. And notice the columns are X and Y. Got -2, -1, -1, 1. I should have changed that hopefully. And 0, 3. So the change in Y is, it's hard to tell here, but it's adding 2. Because to get from -1 to 1 is adding 2. So Y equals 2 over, getting from here to here is adding 1. Adding 1. So it's going to be Y equals 2X plus something, or minus something. So guess what? If you got that far, do you even have to go any further? No, let's see if the plus 3 works, because all the other ones aren't 2X. So I'm going to do the positive. Is 3 equal to 2 times 0 plus 3? Yes, it is. So that would be, what would that be? For number 4 would be C again. And I apologize, number 2 was A. So don't just think they're A and C. It's just been the pattern for these. Number 5. These go a lot quicker. Negative 5x plus 11 equals negative 4. This is where hopefully you box the variable, and means you're going to deal with it last. So we subtract 11. This is probably the tricky part. These are the same, so you're going to have to add because they're the same. So we get negative 15. Divide by negative 5. Think about what a negative divided by a negative is. It's a positive. So that gives me C. Alright, let's look at number 6. Stacy delivers newspapers. She earns $15 each. So remember, $15 each means that's your variable. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 15. I like X, but it says UC. And then plus, which means to add $2 for each customer. Oh, that would be the C. This, I guess, should be for each week. I should do a W. Sorry about that. And then equals, wow, that's a 12. I'm sorry. Hopefully you're paying attention. Equals 25. Well, I don't need 2 variables. I'm only solving for how many customers she needs. So I only care about this. I don't care about this for 1 week. So it's going to be 15 plus 2C equals 25. Find one that looks familiar. It could be 2C came first. It's the same thing. So that would be C. These are a lot of C's, but I don't think it's always going to be that way. Number 7 is 2x plus 3 equals negative 13. Box the variable, deal with it last, subtract 3. We get 2x equals negative 16, divide by 2, and we get x equals negative 8. Number 8. Sorry, I may have to go a little faster. I'm going kind of slow. Which inequality shows 42 less than y is greater than 10? So 42 less is actually y minus 42. Remember, less than is one of the ones that you flip. You're not solving. All you have to do is write. And so that's D. Finally, one that's different from A, B, C. Number 9. I'm going to go check how I'm doing on time in just a second. Negative 7y is greater than 21. Remember, when we multiply or divide by a negative, we flip the inequality. Well, I'm going to have to divide by this negative 7 because it means to multiply. This is not subtracting 7 where you add 7. You're going to divide by negative 7, and this is flipped. Because you multiplied or divided by a negative. So be careful, because they have y is greater than 28 where if you tried to add 7. So they're going to put things in there that are going to try to trick you, so you need to be careful. Number 10. You have $20 to buy bagels, so you don't want to spend, you want to spend less than or equal to $20. We only want 1 box of bagels, so I'm just going to put 6. And then we want a maximum amount of juice cartons, so that would be 2J, or whatever they used. And you can flip this to be 2J plus 6 is less than or equal to 20, and there it is for C. Number 11. Which inequality? It's a filled-in circle, and it's shaded to the left. So remember, if it's filled in, it has a line underneath. So that would be B. Number 12. It is, you go $8 for each ticket, and you want to spend less than or equal to $80. Divide by 8. I'm not dividing by a negative, so I do not have to flip the inequality. So that would be C. And I used N, I guess, for movies. Alright, 13. Personally, I think the easiest ones are going to be the square roots on page 4. So we've got 3 x's, and remember, whichever one weighs the most is the one the arrow is pointing to. Or, I'm sorry, the alligator is pointing to the one that's highest up. So the alligator eats the one that's furthest on the ground, and then 3 and 3 is 6. All I have to do is divide by 3. And x is greater than 2, which is B. 14, look at 14. See if you did the same thing. Let me check and see how I'm doing on time. Okay, 10 minutes. It's not too bad. We'll be close. So 14, we have 3, 6, 9, and the alligator is going to eat the one on the right because it is closest to the ground. That alligator is going to get to eat it. So we box the variable, deal with it last. So we're going to add 5, we get 14 is less than 2x divided by 2. And we get x. 7 is less than x, which would be, I hopefully changed those. It should be D.